because sometimes you can't get this direct advice. And so I recognize that students may go to social platforms like Student Doctor Network and Reddit, where people are kind of sharing, but you have to look at it carefully because a lot of times it's cookie cutter. And we can break down those barriers by giving you I have a tendency to want to give a lot of context, but I know we have structured time. But if you ever want additional context, we're going to talk about the end, how I can give you more information, because context is very important. Briefly, the answer is yes. Quality versus quantity is key. You will hear me say we have to move away from cookie cutter advising. Cookie cutter advising says you must have so many hours of clinical shadowing, so many hours of community service, so many hours of research, so many hours of leadership. There's a formula. We must move away from cookie cutter advising and move to what I call customized advising. If I know as an exemplar, a student has an interest in building health literacy in a particular community, we're going to focus on activities longitudinally that focus specifically on health literacy. What does that show me as a committee member on the admissions committee? It shows me the depth and the authenticity of your service in health literacy versus, sure, I can have 20 hours at the food ministry. I can have 30 hours here building homes. I can have 15 hours over here. I did a health literacy project. I can have 80 hours over here building new irrigation systems. That's great. I see a lot of services. Which one are you really passionate about? Do you have depth? That's what I ask, because I may have, if I look at just 10 applications, I may have 8 people who've done that. Maybe 2 people have shown me 3 focused efforts, and they occur longitudinally. And I say, now I have some depth. And it ties in to their career aspiration. Yes, I want to do clinical medicine in my health literacy exemplar. Yes, I want to do clinical medicine, but I also want to create health literacy programs for the community so they can be proactive about their health. And that means we're working together as clinician and community. So we need to move more toward that. And unfortunately, you do not hear that voice. You hear, for every 1 customized advising voice, you will hear 20 cookie cutter voices. So I also want to encourage you, because sometimes you can't get this direct advice. And so I recognize that students may go to social platforms like Student Doctor Network and Reddit, where people are kind of sharing, but you have to look at it carefully because a lot of times it's cookie cutter. And we can break down those barriers by giving you context, like I just provided as one exemplar of how we should really look at service. Equally important, as you think about your career, are there medical schools that focus a lot on health literacy? Maybe I should be applying to those schools. Have I done the research on that? That's one of the things I look at. Why do you want to apply to Georgetown versus Stanford versus my alma mater, which is the best in the world, of course, Howard University, versus Harvard versus East Carolina Medical School? All the medical schools are outstanding. Wait a minute, I heard this one's the best. Every single person is a board certified physician. When I come into the ER, I'm not going to ask you what medical school you went to. I want to know, can you help me, doctor? If my loved one is getting ready to go into surgery, I don't ask you what medical school you went to or what were your test scores. I want to know, is it going to be okay? So yes, it is true that there's going to be a context for what we call cognitives, grades and standardized test scores. Those are important. And if we get a follow-up question, I'll give you context for that. But equally important are how we frame our service, leadership, and research experiences. And hopefully I've given you a little bit more context regarding that.